Have you ever wondered what makes a love story truly timeless? Is it the passion? The forbidden romance? Or is it the heartbreaking tragedy that stays with you long after the story ends? Today, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic tales of all time. A story that has captivated audiences for over 400 years. William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. So, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's travel back to the sun-drenched streets of Verona, Italy. But this isn't your typical postcard-perfect Italian city. Verona is a powder keg, ready to explode. Why? Because of a bitter, ancient feud between two of its most powerful families. The Montagues and the Capulets. This isn't just some friendly rivalry. It has a deep-seated hatred that spills onto the streets in the form of sword fights and public brawls. The Prince of Verona himself has had enough, declaring that any more fighting will be punished by death. This sets a tense and dangerous backdrop for our story. Now, let's meet our hero, Romeo Montague. When we first see him, he's not the passionate lover we all know. He's actually moping around, heartbroken over a girl named Rosalind, who has sworn a vow of chastity. He's dramatic, poetic, and completely lovesick. His friends, Benvolio and the witty, ever-entertaining Mercutio, are tired of seeing him so down. They try to cheer him up, telling him there are plenty of other beautiful women in Verona. Their solution, crush a massive party being thrown by their sworn enemies. The Capulets, what could possibly go wrong? Their plan is to sneak in wearing masks. Romeo reluctantly agrees, mostly because he hears that Rosalind will be there. He's still fixated on her, completely unaware that his life is about to change forever. Meanwhile, over at the Capulet mansion, we meet Juliet. She's just 13, almost 14, and her parents are eager to marry her off to a respectable and wealthy nobleman, Count Paris. Juliet, however, is young and hasn't given much thought to love or marriage. She's obedient to her parents, but also has a quiet, independent spirit, wonderfully supported by her talkative and loving nurse, who has cared for her since birth. The Capulet Ball is in full swing. It's a grand affair, filled with music, dancing, and the elite of Verona. Romeo, still masked, wanders through the crowd, and then he sees her, not Rosalind, but a girl whose beauty, he says, teaches the torches to burn bright. He is instantly mesmerized. It's love at first sight, pure and simple. Forgetting Rosalind completely, he approaches this mysterious girl. He takes her hand, and they share a sonnet, a perfect 14-line poem, as they speak their first words to each other. It's electric. They kiss, and in that moment, the world outside, the feud, the masks, it all disappears. There's only the two of them, but reality crashes back in when they are pulled apart. Romeo learns from the nurse that this enchanting girl is Juliet, a Capulet, and Juliet, in turn, discovers that the boy she just kissed is Romeo, a Montague. Her famous line, "My only love sprung from my only hate," perfectly captures the devastating irony of their situation. But their newfound love is too powerful to be denied by a family name. That same night, Romeo, unable to stay away, risks his life by climbing the wall into the Capulet orchard. This leads us to one of the most famous scenes in all of literature, the balcony scene. Juliet appears on her balcony, speaking her thoughts aloud, unaware that Romeo is listening below. She asks, "O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?" She's not asking where he is. She's asking asterisk, why asterisk? He has to be Romeo, a Montague. She wishes he could shed his name so they could be together. Romeo reveals himself, and what follows is a beautiful and passionate declaration of their love. They know the dangers, but they don't care. Their love feels more real and more important than the ancient hatred of their families. In the heat of the moment, they make a radical decision to get married in secret. They believe their marriage could be the very thing that finally ends the feud. With the help of Juliet's loyal nurse and a well-meaning but perhaps naive Friar Lawrence, they arrange the secret wedding. Friar Lawrence, a holy man who is also an expert in herbs and potions, agrees to marry them. He sees the danger, but he also holds on to a sliver of hope that their union might, just might, turn their family's rancor to pure love. The very next day, Romeo and Juliet are secretly married. hope for a future together. But this is a tragedy, and their happiness is tragically short. The same day they are married, the simmering tension in Verona boils over. Tybalt, Juliet's fiery cousin, who had recognized Romeo at the party, is furious and challenges him to a duel. Romeo, now related to Tybalt by marriage, refuses to fight. He tries to be the peacemaker, but his friends don't understand his sudden change of heart. Mercutio, unable to stand Tybalt's insults, steps in to fight in Romeo's place. In the ensuing sword fight, Romeo tries to intervene, but in a moment of chaos, Tybalt stabs Mercutio under Romeo's arm. As he dies, Mercutio curses both families, crying out, "A plague o' both your houses." His death is a crucial turning point. The playful mood is gone, replaced by a thirst for revenge. Blinded by grief and rage, Romeo forgets his new family ties and his desire for peace. He hunts down Tybalt, and they fight. Romeo kills Tybalt. The consequences are immediate and catastrophic. The prince, instead of sentencing him to death, banishes Romeo from Verona. If he is ever found in the city again, he will be killed. The news devastates Juliet. She has just learned that her new husband has killed her cousin and has been banished. Her world is falling apart. After one final, secret night together, Romeo flees to the nearby city of Mantua. They part at dawn, promising to find a way to be together, not knowing it's the last time they will see each other alive. To make matters even worse, Juliet's parents, thinking her grief is for Tybalt, decide to cheer her up by forcing her to marry Count Paris in just a few days. When she refuses, her father explodes in a fit of rage, threatening to disown her if she doesn't obey. Juliet feels utterly trapped and alone. Her parents have turned against her, and even her nurse advises her to forget Romeo and marry Paris. Desperate, Juliet runs to the one person she thinks can help Friar Lorenzo. The friar, seeing her desperation, comes up with a risky, elaborate plan. He gives her a sleeping potion that will make her appear dead for 42 hours. The plan is for her family to find her, believe she is dead, and place her in the family tomb. Meanwhile, the friar will send a letter to Romeo in Mantua, explaining everything. Romeo can then return. Be there when Juliet wakes up, and they can escape to Mantua. Together, it's a plan built on perfect timing and communication, and this is where everything goes horribly, tragically wrong. Juliet, showing immense courage, drinks the potion. Her family finds her dead and heartbroken. They lay her in the Capulet tomb, but the friar's message never reaches Romeo. The messenger is delayed due to a plague quarantine. Instead, Romeo's servant, who saw Juliet's funeral, rushes to Mantua and tells Romeo that Juliet is truly dead. Overwhelmed by a grief so profound he can't imagine living without her, Romeo buys a fast-acting poison from an apothecary and races back to Verona to die by Juliet's side. He arrives at the tomb and is confronted by a grieving Count Paris. They fight, and Romeo kills Paris. He enters the tomb, sees Juliet's seemingly lifeless body, and is struck by how beautiful she still is. He kisses her one last time, drinks the poison, and dies. Just moments later, Juliet begins to wake up. Friar Lawrence arrives, finding Romeo and Paris dead. He tries to get Juliet to leave, but she refuses. She sees Romeo, dead, with the empty cup of poison. Heartbroken and seeing no future without him, she finds Romeo's dagger and, with a final kiss, takes her own life. The final scene is one of pure devastation. The families, alerted by the watch, rush to the tomb to find their children lying dead. Friar Lawrence confesses everything, explaining the story of their secret love and marriage. It is only then, standing over the bodies of their children, that the Montagues and Capulets finally realize the terrible cost of their hatred. They agree to end their feud and erect golden statues to honor the memory of Romeo and Juliet. But it's a hollow victory. The peace they finally achieve is born from the ultimate sacrifice. As the prince says in the play's final lines, "For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo." The story of Romeo and Juliet is a powerful warning about the destructive nature of hate and the tragic consequences of misunderstanding. But it is also a testament to the power of a love so strong it was willing to defy an entire world of hate, even if it ended in tragedy. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back to Verona. If you enjoyed this exploration of Shakespeare's masterpiece, please hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the greatest stories ever told. Let me know in the comments what you think is the most powerful lesson from Romeo and Juliet. Until next time, stay curious.